my subs was just going up like by the thousands. Like I was watching it and it was just going 1,000, 100, 200, 300, 400. I was like, what the? And then it's like, where's it going to stop?
Christian Dior, knock, got peas at the door. 30 point gon' score. On me hammer like Thor. Sippin' some oil. Water gon' boil. Big coupe Megazord. Plain paddock is aluminum foil.
So you may know him from his rap music on YouTube or from his appearance on YouTube Cypher Volume 2. Please welcome DK Rap Artist to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Hello everybody. I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. Keeping myself busy. Today's my day off actually from streaming and stuff, so just chilling today.
I just weren't ready. I gotta eat these beats to feed the beast. The hunger that's in my belly, never been so sure. To anyone that gets on board or behind me, to push with force to help me climb to the top.
So just to start off, the name DK Rap Artist, how did you come up with that name?
So there was this freestyle back in the day on Westwood with Chipmunk and Ice Kid. And I used to bang it out. I'm still like a massive Chip fan to this day. I really liked Ice Kid, so when I was like younger, I was just trying to think of a name. I just called myself Dark Kid because of that. And then years and years later, somebody commented and said, "I think you're good at rapping, but your name, you should just call yourself DK." And I was like, "Okay then," and I changed my name to DK. And then the rap artist bit came from Facebook, because if you try to like have like I wanted to make like a rap Facebook, but it won't let you have like DK Rap Artist as a name, or well like DK as a name. So you have to have like I saw that if you have artist as a second name, it allows it. So DK Artist, and it let me have that. And then at some point, probably like when I was trying to change like all my social medias to be the same name, I think I found DK Rap Artist was not taken anywhere, so I took it everywhere, and I just kind of market myself as that so people can find me easy, to be able to have all the platforms with the same name and stuff.
So when you were changing to the same name, what kind of like level of following would you say you were at that point?
Was that before or after the... I think that was before the KSI shout out, so I pretty much like, I just had like, a few day one fans. I remember like 20, 30 people maybe. Like not very many. Very small at the time.
So what made you want to get into rapping, or was there a moment where you're like, oh, I'm better than the average person at this? What was that like?
I never really considered whether I was better than anybody or not. That's not why I did it. It was just something that I just loved doing. Like like you might play like basketball at school or whatever. Like you don't do it. You do it for fun, right? You don't do it just because you want to become a basketball player. That was it. I just did it as a hobby. I did it for fun for years and years and years and years. I'm talking like 8 years. And then after 8 years, I was like, you know what? I was 18 at the time then. I was like, you know what, I really want to do this. Like, this is what I want to do. I remember watching a video of Professor Green, an English rapper, and he was like backstage about to get on stage, and the crowd was like cheering, and it gave me goosebumps, and it like, I was like, I want that. They kind of
You wanted them to be cheering for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it hit me at that point, and I was like, okay, I want to start taking this seriously. And then from then on, I started like really working hard at it.
So at that moment when you started to take it seriously, what's one thing you wish you had known when you started to take it seriously and started to really try and make it in rap?
I mean, there's everything I know now, really. But like, I don't know. I don't really know, because it's just like everything helps. I don't think there's like one big like thing. It's just kind of a load of little things mixed together is what makes you as good as you are, or know as much as you know, right? It's not like really one particular thing, but I guess the most important thing would be like, one day you're gonna get there. Like, at least I'm not there yet, but like that what has happened to me so far, that it's going to happen. I guess if I knew that, maybe. But then again, maybe I wouldn't have worked so hard at it or maybe I would have worked harder. Who knows? You know, if you knew like you kind of might go softer because you go, oh, it's going to happen, and you might not go as hard. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm sure you get it a lot. You kind of have this label as like a YouTube rapper. Why do you think you have that label, and is it something you kind of embrace and know you have, or is it kind of something you want to shut off and get rid of?
No, I embrace it. I love being a YouTube rapper, and the reason why I'm called that is because my platform is YouTube. Like I didn't gain fans by going out performing at clubs and stuff like that. Like I don't have in real life fans. They're all over the internet, and mostly they follow me on YouTube and my social media platforms. So yeah, like I came up through like the way that I have done it is literally just I make a song, make a music video, upload it to YouTube, and then that's it. I didn't promote it. I never did nothing with my music videos. It's just kind of organic. Like whatever happens, happens. If it gets views, it gets views. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's pretty much the way that I went about it. And yeah, that's it really. So I've always been a YouTube rapper because I only rapped on YouTube and nowhere else. So yeah, like it is what it is, isn't it? Like, I don't know why people look at it as a bad thing. It's just the platform we use, that's all.
So rap and music in general is like definitely hard to break into or get your name out there. What do you think is like the biggest obstacle or the hardest time you've had while trying to get big on YouTube?
I think the hardest thing is just not giving up, really. Like that's the constant fight everybody goes through. That's why I always tell everybody, I say those who made it are those who never quit. Because anybody that's made it in life, they're all people that never quit. They might have been at a point sometimes where they're like, you know what, I'm going to give this shit up. Like I know Eminem felt like that at one point. And you know, I don't know, but a lot of people have. I can't really think of anybody else who said that, but like I nearly quit before the KSI shout out. I was just like, you know what, I'm kind of done with this right now. I just can't be bothered with it anymore. Nobody really gives it. I actually made a song on my channel called I Quit years back. And I didn't quit at the time, but I just kind of just said how I felt. Like I just felt like nobody really gives a and I'm working hard at it, and yeah, I feel like that's probably the hardest part, is that fight of just keep going.
And so obviously after that you didn't end up quitting. Do you think just writing how you felt and turning that into a song kind of helped you get through that and helped you continue making music?
Yeah, I guess, but I think it's more like if you need a break, just take a break. Do you know what I mean? Just take a break, go away, just don't force yourself into it. Go do something, play games for a month, relax, don't do all, and leave your channel stale for months if you have to. And then when you're ready and that inspiration comes back, then you come back swinging.
Yeah, you see
hard.
Rappers and YouTubers now recently, they're almost like scared to take a break from YouTube because they're always worried about what happens. But then now, recently, you've kind of started to see bigger ones say like, wait, like this is actually important and this is something I need to do, and it's become much more accepted to kind of take breaks.
Yeah, I mean, my monthly listeners on Spotify, they go up and then they go right down, and then they go up and then they go right down, and it sucks to see. It kind of feels like I feel like, but at the same time, like it is what it is, whatever. Like when I put music out, and that's it. Like right now, I haven't released anything since like the Supernova EP, which was February the 5th. So I've been to like 2 months. Well, I released that like song with Dwayne yesterday, which was just a silly little. I don't know if you saw it. It was like a silly little diss track against We Scheme and Hollow, which was it was just a joke about we was arguing about whether you put butter on your sandwiches or not, and what way you should wipe, whether it's front to back or back to front, and we just made a little jokey song about it.
The way Hollow wipes is back to front, back to front, back to front. Don't put butter on your sandwich and you back to front.
But that's all I've released since the EP, so I've just slowly been working on stuff. when I'm ready to drop something, I'll drop it. Do you know what I mean? I just take my time with it now, and I don't pressure myself.
Mm-hmm. So you've mentioned it earlier when you got a shout out from KSI. What was that like, and how much did that help you grow?
It was everything. It was it felt like something you'd never expect to happen to you happens to you. You know, like, and part of it was luck, part of it was preparation, part of it was being ready for it. Because like I saw Tom Stockdale do it, and I was like, you know what, I can maybe do that. And then like I was watching his videos, because I always watch his videos, and he said, oh, my next video is going to be a 1 question go. And I was like, oh, okay, right, I'm going to put notifications on Twitter. So when he tweets the link, I'll get a notification, and hopefully I'll be fast enough to get in. And I was going to sleep at night, and then I was like, hold up. Then he put notifications on. I forgot. I turned around, put notifications on for his Twitter, put my phone down, went back to sleep. And as I was going to sleep, my phone went dong. I looked. It was, in a minute I'm going to post a link for 1 question go. I got straight out of bed, turned the computer on, and then just sat refreshing the page over and over and over again. And and then I fucking, as soon as that link appeared, I clicked on it and I got in. I was like, holy shit, I'm actually in. Like, what the f-? And then I remember being at work, like I rapped for him, and I was just laying in bed, like looking at the ceiling, and Clarissa was trying to sleep, my wife, and I was like, just looking at the ceiling, I was like, I can't believe I just rapped for KSI. What the fuck? She's like, yeah, go to sleep. I was like, I can't go to sleep. I can't. And then like the next day at work, I was just like checking my phone to see if he's uploaded the video yet.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what if I get edited out? He might edit me out. Like, don't get your hopes up, because if you get edited out or whatever, like, nothing's gonna happen. So just don't get your hopes up. And that was it. And then when I fell asleep at night, and then he uploaded the video while I was sleeping, and somebody called me. Some guy I went to college with, I don't even speak to, he called me on Facebook, and I was like, what the fuck's he calling me for? And then everybody was messaging me like, oh, you're on KSI's video, and then my subs was just going up like by the thousands. Like, I was watching it and it was just going 1,000, 100, 200, 300, 400. I was like, what the fuck? And then it's like, where's it going to stop? And it got me to about 8,000. So yeah, that got me the push that helped me get into. Without that, I wouldn't have got into the YouTube cipher, because, for example, like somebody who really helped me was Intensify Charts. I don't know if you know him or not. That's his YouTube channel. You can look him up. He's a really, really nice guy, a great friend of mine. He's at like nearly 500,000 subs now, but like back then he was at around like nearly 100k, and he'd pop in my chat and I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing in my chat with 100k subscribers? He's like,
you're way bigger than me. You're way bigger than me. You're not supposed to come to me. It's supposed to be the other way around. I'm supposed to go to the bigger artists.
It was a bit weird, and I was like, why are you here? He's like, well, I'm a fan just like everyone else. And I was like, alright, fair enough. And then he just used to kick it in the chat and that. And then when I went for the YouTube Cypher contest, I got in the top 12, and he helped me with the votes. He was sharing it to his fans, and that, like, without him, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it. And he found me through KSI, so and plus all the rest of my fans as well. Like, they was voting, everybody was voting and helping me and sharing and stuff like that. So yeah, like it's the start of everything, and the YouTube Cypher is like the biggest thing that happened to me. Period. So yeah, it's without KSI, there's nothing. Like, I owe everything to him, really.
So for the cipher, you maybe not exactly, but you kind of had an idea of the other artists who were going to be on it before it came out and before you started making it.
I had no clue, no at all. And at the time, I was new to the YouTube rap community. Like, I didn't really like know that well who Crypt was, or like, I knew who Crypt was, but like I had just found out who he was. And I remember he like reacted to my video, and I was, oh, sick, like Crypt reacted to my video on a live stream, and I was gassed. yeah, that like I didn't know anybody really. Like, so looking back, I remember like how I didn't know anyone or anything about the community. It's weird because I feel like when you're out of the community, you don't even know that the community exists at all. Like, I didn't know there was a YouTube rap community and everybody like speaks to each other and stuff like that. It's like anybody outside of it, they have no clue.
Once you learn about one person in it, like maybe Crypt or kind of KSA or like Quedeca, when you learn about one of these people in it, then very quickly you start learning about all the other people they're in contact with, or all the other people they make music with.
Exactly. One person at a time, and then before you know it, like it was a goal of mine. I wanted to be a part of the YouTube rap community, and I was like, I really want to be accepted. And I've always I always explain to people like the rap game in general is a bunch of circles. It's like a big circle, and then inside that a smaller circle, and then a smaller circle, and then a smaller, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So the smallest circle obviously is like people like Eminem, Jay-Z, you know, like the biggest of the
Drake,
biggest. They put the people in their circle. They sometimes they'll help out and reach outside of the circle, but normally they all with each other. And then same with like the people outside of that. They want to work with the people in the other circle, but they can't, and they're trying to get into the next circle, and they're just with the people in that circle, and they're all trying to like get in, and it goes like that. And I felt like I was in this circle, but I was trying to get into the next one, and like slowly but surely. I mean, Dwayne is one of the people. You know, he's another good friend of mine. Dwayne is somebody who accepted me with open arms from the get-go. I felt very, very accepted by Dwayne. You know, like me and Samad Savage, we worked together before he was even really in the YouTube community as well. That was thanks to Intensify as well. I heard Samad and I was like, holy shit, like, this guy is crazy. Slowly but surely. And then the YouTube cipher kind of, it put a stamp, like, okay, like Crip said in the thing, like, he's here to stay. DK rep the UK.
Yeah, it's almost like Crip putting like his like stamp of approval on all the artists that are on it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like that. I didn't feel fully accepted at that point. Like, I felt like, okay, Crip's like, okay, you're here to stay now. You're in the thing, but I still had to earn my respect of a lot of the other artists and stuff. And yeah, slowly but surely, I feel like I did that, and now I feel like I'm finally like a part of it, and it's cool. That was my goal all along. So yeah, I'm definitely very proud to be a part of the community. I love this community, and I love the artists, the fans, like all of it. Like, I talk to everybody all day, every day. I have so much fun on Twitter, just with everybody, just talking and arguing with people about whether you put butter on sandwiches or not. It's a lot of fun.
I can tell on Twitter, and then also like when I messaged you on Instagram to try and to set this up, like of all the people I've done already, you've probably responded the fastest, and you're always like very quick with the responses. You're very good at keeping in touch with people who reach out to you.
I have no unread messages. Like, I go through every message, and I'm on my phone all day, like always answering, because otherwise, if I don't keep up with it, it gets too much. One day it will be probably too much, where I won't be able to. But while I can, I'm gonna like answer every single person, and it won't be because I don't want to. Trust me. If it gets to a point where it's too much, it's not that I wouldn't want to. I'd love to answer every message. If you
don't answer a message, it's not because you didn't want to or because you didn't think it deserved a response. It's because you actually could not, and you didn't have the time the day to do it.
I really don't take any of this for granted. Like, when somebody messages me on like Instagram and says like, "Oh, I heard your music. Like, it was really good, man." Like, I appreciate that so much. Like, not just because of what they're saying, but the fact that this person took time out of their day to search me up and to message me personally and tell me I liked your music. Like, that means a lot to me.
It's one thing to just listen and like think like, oh, I kind of like this. It's another to take that and then actually go to the artist and tell them how much you like it or how you feel about it.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. It really does.
So it can be another artist for music or someone personally who has inspired you the most while trying to make it with rap.
Eminem, definitely. Like I learned how to rap from like studying Eminem. I remember I studied the Recovery album. At the time, it was like when I was really at my peak of learning, and I was just sitting in my bedroom. I had no internet. That I didn't record music. I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And that's all I did. I'd just write music. Sometimes I'd record it, but it'd be like with a mic. I remember I had there's Chinese shops in Spain, and they're like cheap. They sell cheap basically. So I went there and I got this little microphone for like €10, and it only worked through one ear, and it sounded terrible. But like I'd be on my little computer and I'd just record like my little songs and stuff. But I never actually properly like seriously recorded songs. It was just about learning. I was just in that learning process of learning. Like I'd sit and listen to the album, and I went to the internet cafe, and I downloaded like all the lyrics to the album, and I'd sit there and read the lyrics along while listening, and really pay attention to where the rhymes landed and how he'd rhyme like a word, and then rhyme it again, and then he'd start rhyming a different word loads of times. And then at the end of the 4 bars, he'd rhyme with the word that he was rhyming with in the first place. And he'll do like, and I was like, oh, that's kind of like a rhyme scheme, like. And then I tried it, and I'd be like, I've got an acre full of weed, man. I make paper. A bit later, I will stormy place of A Laker, holding a mace, take everything of taste from your safe, and I will break every bone in your face with a piece. Like, it's like, and that's actually the rap that I wrote when I was learning. That exact one. That was my first like ever rhyme scheme that I did. The lyrics, but the rhyme scheme is cool. And like I was just learning and learning and learning. And I studied it back to front, like all of his albums. I just studied them.
You hear a lot about artists like that who they started writing first because they were kind of unsure about like recording themselves or their own voice, and then they kind of get into it and they become singers or rappers or anything in the
I used
music.
to hate my own voice. I got used to it. I just like, same with being on camera as well. Like I hated seeing myself on camera. I hated hearing my voice. But it's just like whatever. You got to get over it. Like just try to make the most of it.
Like I don't know about you, but like for my YouTube videos, I'm editing it, and when I'm like listening back, I don't like listening to the sound of my voice. Like it sounds weird to me. Did you ever have that with like your videos or your music?
100%. Like I don't anymore because I just like. I mean, even if you like if you go back to one of my old videos, just the way I talk to the camera, and then you compare it to now, you can tell the difference between my confidence and it's about just really just being yourself. Like you need to be. Don't think like like I'm gonna like be this way, like. Because that's going to be cool and like, hey guys, it's like you don't need to be like that is just over the top, and you end up. That's why you're like, oh god, it's so cringy because you're not. Actually
that's not that's not real. That's not what you're like in real life.
Yeah, and even though it's like it sounds silly, like everybody's like it sounds cliche, like oh just be yourself, but that is the hardest thing to do because everybody feels like they need to be someone else. Nobody feels comfortable enough in their own skin to just truly be their self.
It feels like being you wouldn't be someone who gets big on YouTube.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I'm just myself, like 100%. Like, don't matter what I'm doing. Music, interviews, live streams. I stream on Twitch like every day, doing gaming streams. If you come and like chill with me, I'm the same, like every day. Like. What you see is what you get in videos and streaming and everything. The good and the bad.
And so do you kind of have a top few rappers of all time? And it can be top in the sense that like you think they're the best, or top of just like you like their music and you think they're like your personal favorite?
I think I always say when people have the argument of the top five or whatever, I say there's the top five and there's my top five. So there's the top five, which I was having this argument on Twitter the other day. I think the top five, if you take everybody's opinion into account, would be Eminem, Jay-Z, Biggie, Puck, and Nas. I feel like that top five would be like, obviously not everybody would agree, but I feel like if everybody in the whole world voted in a poll, I feel like those would be the five that
get the most votes.
Their names get brought up the most.
Yeah.
Like you see their names get brought up the most. Personally, I was live streaming the other day reacting to Nas on stream. I don't think Nas is a good artist. I really don't. Like, he's a good rapper, but like he can't do hooks at all. Where his hooks are like just rapped, like he just raps on the hook. Or like there's one hook where I checked out he was singing and the singing was terrible. I was like, yeah, like Nas is not a good artist. He's a good lyricist, not a good artist.
There's so many aspects to it, like lyricist, rapper, artist, singer, like all those are totally different things, and it's finding what you're good at and trying to get better at whatever you're not good at to really become an artist.
In my top five, I don't even know what my top five is, but from who I'd like listen to the most, I'd say Eminem, Chip. Chip is an English artist who I mentioned like at the beginning of the interview. He's like my number two. So Eminem's number one, Chip number two. Then number three, I'd put maybe like 50 Cent. And then number four, I'd put like Hops in. And then number five, I don't know. But I feel like those four are just the ones I listen to the most. I don't really know.
Yeah, and you were saying like for the top five, obviously not everyone's gonna be happy with that, but I don't think there's a possible top five where everyone's happy with it. Like,
nah, it's impossible.
Because when you think of the grand scheme of things and how many rappers there are, like five's and crazy small amount for all the big rappers out there. So.
It's literally impossible.
Yeah. So when you're coming up with a new song or a new album, what kind of goes into that process? And do you have the beat first and you write over that, or do you kind of already have written lyrics ready and then you find the beat that they work with? What is that?
I always write to a beat. If you don't write to a beat, you're not doing it right. Like, every beat is completely different. So like they're custom made, innit? I write specifically to the beat, especially like for the hook as well. The hook has to, like, depending on what key the beat is in and stuff like that. And I approach every beat differently. Like, I might rap fast on the beat, another beat I might rap really slow. Like, it just depends on the vibe I'm going for. And then I feel like when I make songs, they normally start kind of sounding maybe a certain way. So I'll be like, okay, this is kind of going in this direction. Like, maybe I might like make a few serious songs, and I'll be like, okay, this is gonna be like a serious project.
You kind of have a general sense of what you want the song to be like.
Very serious. But then like when I made like the Halloween EP, I'm like, okay, I want to make like a Halloween EP, and I did it on purpose. So I want to make it all horrorcore themed and talk about killing people and vampires and whatever like I want. And yeah, that's what I did. Like, it just depends what mood I'm in, really. But the beats, also what beats I have.
So you mentioned earlier, like, looking at the lyrics of Eminem and studying what he did. What other rappers or artists, if there are a few, do you kind of learn from or take bits and pieces from?
I mean, everybody really. Like, and not only rappers, like, could be singers, producers. Like, I make beats too. So I just study music in general, really. I listen to everything. I listen to every sound in the beat. I listen to, people like Billie Eilish and how she has, like, she kind of whispers, like, when she sings. And it's just a different style. and the way that she has like 50 different harmonies on like
Yeah.
one bit, like or like Phineas when he produced Billie Eilish, and he says like, "Oh, I started lighting matches in the bathroom, and then I used the matches as a snare, so it goes."
Yeah.
And then the song was about a house burning down or something. So the matches just
They fit perfectly.
There's a song of Billy's called "Bury a Friend."
So here's the sound that Billy recorded. This is the drill. And then this is "Bury a Friend," and you can see if you can hear it.
Calling security, keeping my head held down. Bury the hatchet.
All of that is really inspirational to me, and like Ed Sheeran. I watch Ed Sheeran write songs and stuff. I've watched him like songwriting, and yeah, I get inspired off everything because it's all about learning. Like if you can learn something from everywhere, and I'm always learning.
Yeah, I'll try to find the clip, but I've heard Phineas talk about like they were in, I want to say Australia, but they were in somewhere, and like they were waiting to cross the street and like hit the button, and it like made a rhythmic sound, and then that ended up being like what people thought were hi-hats in Bad Guy, which is like one of her top songs.
The thing with the button when you cross the street. And it goes,
So when you're on a street corner in Australia, you press the button, and then when the walk sign turns on, you hear this like rhythmic sound that I love and that Billy loved, and so we recorded it, and it sounds like this.
You use that for the song "Bad Guy."
Yeah, the thing people think are hi-hats in Bad Guy is actually just that.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can get inspiration from everywhere, and the way that it's just. I think they said also like I can't remember who it was. It might have been Phineas and Billy, maybe, I don't know. It was like come up with a song title first, and then go, okay, what could that song be about? If the song title was this, so you could maybe say like Photograph, and call the song Photograph, and then you could be like, what could the song be about? And go, okay, what if I wanted this perfect the perfect moment was happening. I wish I could freeze this moment and keep it still in time like a photograph, and that could be the concept of the song, and then you write the song around that. And it's just like really interesting. It's like, okay, maybe let me try that. Let me try coming up with a cool name of a song first, and then that would give me something cool to write about. And just changing the way you do things so it's not so boring. It's like, let me not write this song at all. Let me just record it straight down, like Lil Wayne and Jay-Z and that does. Like, let me try things differently. I've recorded quite a few songs like that. Postcard. I was talking to Postcard about it, and he said, "Don't overthink it." He said, "The moment you overthink things," because I said to him, "I feel like I always overthink everything, and then I end up not writing anything." He was like, "Don't overthink it. Just go with the flow." And he knocked songs out in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I sent him the Flexing on the Gram song from Supernova EP.
Flexing with the grind, she knows that I'm the man. She don't really care now, she don't really care now.
Within 45 minutes, he had sent the verse back. Like, I'm talking from the moment that, like, the moment I asked him we had a chat. He said, "I'm going to go get a G Fuel. I'll be back, and then I'll record it." And then within like 15 minutes from that message, the verse was done. And then he sent it mixed and everything. It was like 45 minutes in total, and and he killed it as well. So it's just crazy. Like,
so if you got the chance to make a song with any artist, doesn't have to be rap, but it can, and it can be YouTube rapper or like a big rapper. So if you got the chance to make a song with any artist, who would it be?
Eminem, obviously. I'd like to just sit there and chat to him. If I could just sit there for an hour and talk to him, and just have a conversation.
It's
with
like
him,
the famous question of like, who would you have like lunch with or a meal with? It's like, because especially the biggest people in their industry is like Kobe Bryant for sports, Eminem for rapping. It's just so helpful to even just like try and get in their head and know what they're thinking and like see what they're trying to do with their music.
Yeah, I'd love to see Eminem make a song. Like, I'd love to just sit there and just shut the up and just watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
maybe
watch the
just
whole
ask
process from
questions like,
start to finish.
why are you doing that? Why have you done that? Can you explain this to me? And just learn. Like, that would be, like, crazy. Or someone like Dr. Dre. Like, Eminem got the opportunity to sit with Dre and watch him mix songs and watch him, like, that would just be, like, crazy. To just be able to just learn from somebody that you just, that's at, like, the top.
Yeah.
I love that.
So those are all the questions I had for today. Thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the podcast. Where can people find you online? YouTube, if you have, I don't know if you have like merch or anything, but anything like that, your music, where can they find you?
Just type in DK Rap Artist wherever you want. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google, YouTube, SoundCloud. It's all there. DK Rap Artist everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. It was a enjoyable interview.
Yeah, Christian Dior, yeah, knock, got peas at the door, yeah, 30 point gon' score, yeah, I'm a hammer like Thor, yeah, wow, sippin' some oil, yeah, water gon' boil, yeah, big coupe Megazord, yeah, plain paddock is aluminum foil, yeah.